So I just finished up passing out these flyers for our Bible seminar. I passed out about 2,000 of them. It's 12:30 right now. We started about 10:30. It's getting pretty hot because it's summer, starting to be summer weather here. But in this video, I wanted to share with you about what we do here to pass out flyers. It was kind of born out of a desire to show you what it's like on the ground day to day as a missionary here in Japan. I'm going to walk you through what we do and what it looks like, because this is part of what we do, and it's basic, but this area needs a church too. We're on the north side of town, and the whole video you're about to watch is going to explain all that. There's a ton of apartments that way that I haven't even been able to get to yet. It's hot. I'm reaching my limit for the day, so if God's working in your heart to come to Japan, this is what it could look like for you. Not every day, but part of the time. And so think about it, pray about it, and enjoy. Barley tea. Dango. This is the neighborhood that we are going to be going into and seeing if we can get these flyers out. All right, so we are here, and that's my oil sticker, by the way. They put a sticker right here. You're not supposed to actually put anything on the windshield. It's technically illegal. So they've got like, hey, here's your next oil change. This is my car. I'm not sure if you actually have ever seen this. I've got the church logo slapped on it. It's called a Corolla Fielder. It's like a station wagon version of a Corolla. So this is the neighborhood we're going to be in, and this is the like Home Depot / sports products place. And so there's apartments over there, apartments over there, apartments over there, apartments over here, and apartments over here. We are about maybe 30 minutes by train from the center of the city. So we are going to go and basically pass out flyers in this area, because they can get to the center of the city just as well as I can. And so if that's the case, then why not, right? So that's what we are going to do. Here's a map of our city, about the size of Chicago as far as population, but and a tenth of the size. I live like around here. Our church plant is right here. We're doing our Bible seminar over here. Right now, I am currently like up this way. So up here, I live here. So we're definitely like on the other side of the city. We're gonna come over here, open up my car here. Then I've got a folding bicycle in here. So we're gonna pull this out real quick. Here we go. So when you post, it's really good to have a folding bicycle, because especially when you're in a really dense area, just going from mailbox group to mailbox group, like walking, is what takes the most time. So if you have a bicycle, you can get from point A to point B pretty fast. If you're in a neighborhood that's mostly houses though, then having this might not be the best choice, because you end up spending more time trying to put set your bicycle up so it doesn't fall. But if you're in a really dense neighborhood, this is definitely the way to go. We are going to open this up, and ta-da! Here are our flyers, like that. See? So what I usually do is, one of these bundles is like 500. That's like 500 flyers. So there's 8 bundles in there plus the extras. So I usually put like 500, maybe 1 or 2 bundles in my basket. So there's 1, and then we can just take the extras and slap that on. If you take a bungee cord and go across the top, then when the wind blows or whatever, your flyers don't just go like all over the place. But 500 flyers in a neighborhood like this is going to go away really, really fast. That's why the backpack comes in handy. We're gonna come over here, and I'm not sure how many we'll be able to do today, but it always really stinks if you have to come back. So I'm gonna go ahead and probably put like one, that's 2, that's 1,000, and then that's 1,500 plus the 500. And so I've got like 2,000 flyers right now. And then we've got 4 more bundles in the box. Depending on, you know, the number of buildings that we go to, these will go really fast. So the mailboxes will be all together. So we will go there. And then we are off. We are going to go off here and see what is going on in this area. So you can already tell this area is super dense. There's just a lot of people who live over here. So I'm gonna come this way. I'm trying to figure out where these mailboxes are for this building. Usually there's like a main entrance or something. I feel like I'm probably going around the back if I go this way. So I'm gonna go this way. And it says store entrances. So that's probably, these buildings probably have stores on the first floor, and then residences on the top. So we're gonna cycle through here and see if there's anything. Okay, so their stores are actually open. Cool. If you go into like an older neighborhood, sometimes the stores are all just closed down, but oh look, they've got a supermarket on the first floor. That's really cool. And there's a bicycle store, a cram school, an NPO place. All right, so this is what we're looking for. This looks like the entrance here. Okay, all right, you see them? So we're gonna go in here and boom, here are the mailboxes, found them. So I'm gonna just kind of lean my bicycle over here. Let's see here. So like they've got their community announcements and stuff here, what's going on, details. So this is really a good way if you're wondering like what a community's up to, go find their community boards in a dense area. So, all right, we're gonna go here. We're gonna start, and so usually what I do is I hold flyers in my left hand, and I take my right hand and I just take the flyer. If it's horizontal like this, I just use my index finger, just open it, and I just slide a flyer in there. So it becomes pretty fast once you get the hang of it. These are A5 size, so like half of a US letter size paper, because in Japan we use we don't use like letter size or what legal or whatever, so we just do this. And then you have to be careful because sometimes like this, it says our house, we don't want advertisements, chirashi, flyers, etc., because we don't need them, so please don't put them in. So I'm going to skip this house and I'm going to go to the next one. So there's different ways people will say that on their mailboxes, and so you got to just be paying attention. I've made the mistake before where I was just trying to go through really fast and missed it. Now this house is empty, and so the property management company just puts a sticker on it so people don't put stuff in there. And then we'll just keep going. I think I wrote about this the other day on our Instagram post when we were advertising this, promoting this, was that like, hey, you know, we've gotten people who, you know, 2 years ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, got a flyer and then they finally show up. And so like, you never know what this kind of outreach is gonna do. Oop, messed that up. Another thing I also do is if I drop a flyer, I go ahead and just post it before I pick it up because it just breaks the rhythm. So we'll just keep going here. And a lot of times people have their family name, sometimes they don't. But they'll do that just so you know who lives there. Another thing I also do is I use my left hand to open the box and put the flyer into. So like whatever works better. We'll do that. Now that one's kind of full, so I'm going to skip that one. Another thing, this one says don't put flyers in here, so I'm going to skip that one too. All right. So when you're in a super dense area, you can quickly go through a couple hundred flyers like nothing. So if you ever read a missionary report and they're like, we passed out 100 flyers, then, you know, that's like 2 minutes, you know, maybe not quite that much. If you're in a rural area and you're doing houses, then, you know, it'll take a long time. But if you're just in a really dense neighborhood like this, it'll be pretty quick. And I've got like 3 more rows. That one's kind of full. We'll skip that one. But some people don't actually check their mail, or maybe they've, you know, been in the hospital or something, so they just don't take the other flyers out, and those I usually don't put a flyer in. This one, they also say chirashi okotowari, so we're gonna skip that one, and we're gonna go to this one. Now, I've got 2 more rows here, and then there is a whole nother section over there that we're gonna go into. This is a pretty standard issue. It's got the lock. You put like a padlock on it. That one, oh, that was unlocked. Whoa. So like my house, we've got something similar. It's like that. We've got a dial on there. Sometimes there's like different kinds of apartments, and some of them, like they'll have a sign that says like, please do not put flyers in our mailbox. But then, I'm not sure if you can see this, but this little thing, this is actually a trash can, and everybody who doesn't want the flyers in their mailbox, they'll just sort through and just throw them away in here. So it really just, you know, sometimes they're saying one thing, but what really happens in practice is totally different. And then some buildings, they'll actually have somebody sitting at the entrance, and basically they're the gatekeeper. They don't want flyers either, okay? So we try to respect those wishes. Like if it's basically plastered on the building, typically I'll look for something like that trash bin right there and be like, okay, yeah, they're just saying that because the thing is, in Japan, a lot of times the issue is like, who's responsible for what? So like, if someone gets flyers, then they'll complain to the property management company. So the property management company puts up a sign that says you can't do that. But that's so in case the person complains to the property management company, the property management companies can say, well, you know, we do have this sign that says you're not supposed to do that, asking people not to do that. So we can't do anything about it. You need to contact that person or whatever. And then there's some places that are very strict, and they'll literally chase you out. So you just got to know the area. But this is semi-government subsidized. Oh, looks like I'm going to run out of that stack. 924. Oh, let's pick it up right there. 1024 is where we picked up. All right, so we go through here, and man, I just like, sometimes you see, like this says Yugen Gaisha, so that's like almost like an LLC company. So someone's running a business out of their house. There's 72 mailboxes on this side, and then there's like 117 on this side. So we're talking like 200 homes right here. So sometimes these are extras though. Like these don't have any name on them or anything. So I think those are extras. So I'm not going to post those today. Sometimes like if one breaks, then they'll like reroute their box. So like they'll just say, hey, number 111 is here now or whatever. But all right, so this is the first building, and we got our flyers out. We're going to go to the next building that we find. And I think probably what I'm going to end up doing is looking for a different style apartment, because I want you to be able to see the differences in like the entrances and stuff. So so we'll go this way, and all right, I think that was probably this entire building here. Oh, and that's their property management company. They're off today. Okay, interesting. Family playing. Now it's like 10:30. Oh, there's another. Just missed it. Looks like this is the entrance to the other side of the building. So there's probably a mailbox over here. Yep. All right. See, there it is. So they're using a similar design on that side. I'll come back to that side later, because I want to show you what other apartment buildings typically look like. So this is UR. So one of the cool things about UR apartments is that, you know, they don't have like a neighborhood association. So it's a lot easier to move in and out, and the relationships are a lot less sticky. Like you don't have a ton of people like breathing down your neck, telling you to do stuff. And this area is nice. They've got parks and stuff. So like if you've got kids, you know, that would be the place to go to meet other families during the day. Like little kids that aren't ready to go to preschool yet, they would go through there. go to like the park and stuff. And so like Rosie has met people going to the park like that in our neighborhood. And you can tell like this area is huge. So like there's another park right there. So I'm gonna pass through here really quickly. And this is why you want to be on a bicycle, because you can quickly get from A to B. But walking building to building, that ends up being the thing that takes the most time. So I'm gonna go this way. A building like this, this is another entry point. And so because this is like half government, like the government was kind of running the company, but then like they changed what they do. So you can tell these mailboxes look a little different. Grab some more of these here. That should be enough. This building's a little bit smaller. And then we're gonna come here and see it says unneeded advertisement box. So if you don't need an ad, just drop it in there. So these, again, just post them like this and you're good to go. Just making sure that you keep an eye out for the somebody that either has a sign slapped on their mailbox or something else that says, hey, please don't put ads in our mailbox. Like, as long as it doesn't say that, basically it's fair game. So we're gonna do this building real quick. And you could even tell, I'm not sure if you can see, there's like other papers and stuff in there. So that's also another way that I sometimes check if there's a sign that says don't post flyers here. But I go and I just like peek in the mailbox, and if there's flyers in there, then I'm like, yeah, they're not serious. They're just saying words, so they don't have to be responsible if someone actually does. So you can just kind of get a feel for that. So yeah, this area is kind of nice. And our city is a driving city, so you can definitely tell like all the cars in the parking lot and stuff. We're like in a super dense area, but a lot of people are still driving and going places. But then you also see like all the cars. So like this, like you see the kids' bikes over here, and then like this is a mom bicycle, so she's got two kids, one on the back there, and then one on the front. There's the helmet, you can kind of see it. So yeah, a lot of times if they just have one car, then if a family has one car, then the mom is riding a bicycle, taking the kids places, like to school or whatever. We're trying to get to that building right there, but there's a fence right here. So this is, again, why the bicycle is super helpful, because you can just quickly go. See the little blue man there? He's helps with like keeping the facility clean. So this is our trash, by the way. This is what trash looks like. Like my neighborhood doesn't quite look like this, but they have everything separated out. So you've got like bottles, cans, and that's like glass bottles, cans, plastic bottles, other plastics, and then over here you've got like recyclable papers. They pick them up on certain days of the week, and then cans and stuff, and then burnables over here. And so they would basically put them in there so like crows and stuff don't take them apart and make a mess. This is a school, it looks like. Again, I've never been in this area, so I don't know what I'm looking at until I actually get to it. But this is an elementary school. Sunadabashi Elementary School. Cool. So this area, man. So we're gonna see what these buildings look like, because I want to show you a different kind of mailbox, different looking place. All right, so we're gonna go this way. Then, oh, yep, there's construction going on. We'll go this way. All right, looks like the mailboxes are, I don't see the middle. I bet they're in the middle. Usually there's like a big elevator hall. I think if the building's like over 5 stories, they're required to have an elevator. So, oh, there it is. All right. So, again, here we are. So there is a sign that says, please, you can't just post flyers. But then I'm looking in the mailboxes, and it's definitely just like free for all. So we're just gonna go for this and see what happens. And the typical rule of thumb is if someone says something, you don't go like, well, this is religious freedom, or they just say, okay, sorry, and you just back out. So, if someone says something, then you just walk out. But if they not just walk out and say, hey, sorry, and then if they're okay with it, then we'll just find out. And so since there's people coming and going, since there's people that have obviously gotten flyers, we are going to just go ahead. They're probably just saying that so they don't get in trouble with the people that live here. All right, so, and flyers are one of those things that you could probably pass out like 10,000 and maybe get like one phone call. So you don't know what kind of response that you're going to get. There's also companies that you can pay to do this for you, and they do different pricing brackets. So, for example, like the company that we typically use right now, they will charge about 4 yen a flyer, which comes out to about a little under 3 cents a flyer. If we want to specify the block, like we can't say, I want only this or only that, but you can specify and say, hey, any of the houses or apartments within this block, please put these flyers that we give you in them, and they'll charge us. They have a list of like how many houses are there, and they'll send us a bill, and we send them the flyers, and they take care of it. So like our printing company is set up to where we can just drop them to our posting company, and the posting company will just hand them out. So if we want to get out 10,000 flyers, we pay them $300, and they'll get them out for us. And then they also run other deals. So like our city has 16 wards, and we've been talking about trying to get a church started in every single ward, 16 wards. So like if you specify a ward, then you can say, hey, I want you to do, it's called free, and not free as in like no money, but like unspecified within a ward. It's like 2.8 yen, which comes out to like 2 cents a flyer. And basically you just give them a specific number of flyers and just say, hey, pass these out anywhere within this ward within a month. And they'll be like, okay. So if you do anywhere in the ward, it is 2.8 yen a flyer plus tax. So you've got to deal with that. This is another one that says, please don't put a flyer in, please don't put a flyer in. So we'll skip those. And then there's another one that our company does that's just like anywhere within the city. So this one says, please don't post. So we'll skip that one. And if it's anywhere in the city, I think it's like 2 yen a flyer, which is like 1.5 cents for a flyer. So you can just say anywhere within the city. But of course, like with a city this big, here's another one that says, please don't put something in our mailbox. I want you to notice too, like these look different. So you've got to like pay attention. They sell these like plastic plates that you can slap on, but not everybody uses those. So they just write a note. You just got to be careful. So yeah, this company is Nisho. This is a private company. But yeah, so they've got our posting company. You pay like 2 yen a flyer, and anywhere in the city, they'll just post flyers for you. So we've done that before too, especially with these, because this is like in the center of the city. So we just say, hey, we are doing this downtown, you should come. I mean, you could probably already tell, like there's a little bit of distance between these buildings. So, if there's 10 buildings and it takes you 3 minutes to get from building 1 to building 2, I'm just 3 minutes between buildings, then if you do 10 buildings, you just lost 30 minutes in transit. So riding a bicycle is definitely a lot faster to do that. So let's go to that yellow building. I'm not sure if you can see it over there. We are going to go to that yellow looking building, and I think there's some other smaller apartments on the other side of the road. So like we need someone that's going to move to here, to this urban density mass, and start evangelizing. We're going to go this way a little bit. They've got, but I mean, you say government housing, some of it's sketch, some of it's not. So like there's a Lexus parked there. This is also called a robo-gate. So basically like they have a sensor inside the car, and that chain drops down and then goes back up once they're done coming in and out. So pretty cool. Probably there's going to be mailboxes in that little section in the middle. So we're gonna go over there. So it looks like this place might be a security place. Let's go around real quick. So some places you have to have a lock and key to get into. So yep, that's what this one is. So you're not supposed to go in without permission or unless you're invited. So if that's the case, like see the little box right here, and there's a camera and a dial pad. So you push that, it'll ring the house and they can buzz you in and do all that. But because it's set up to be inside outside, you typically something like this, the mailboxes are in a different location. And this is what I was kind of wanting to show you. And we actually kind of stumbled upon it. But if we go this way, then you see that there are mailboxes over here on this way. Boom. So these connect to the other side, and we can pass out flyers here and keep going. Call this security mansion, and basically like it's got a layer of security so not anybody can just walk in. If that's the case, then the mailboxes are usually outside, and there's a separate like mini entrance that gets you to the mailboxes. So sometimes it's like there's actually a separate door that's like the mail room, and so you just find where the mail room is, and you don't have to, you know, try to sneak past somebody to get to the mailboxes. You just go and find the mail room. This place is not as fancy, but some places they'll have like package delivery boxes. So you'll see like Amazon delivery drivers coming in and dropping off packages and stuff. But a place like this, yeah, the mailboxes are close to the entrance. So what I typically do is if it's like this, I try to find the entrance, and if it's like a security mansion, because in Japan if it's made out of concrete it's called mansion, right? Like definitely not the heavenly mansion you were looking for, but we look for the entrance, and if it's separate then I look for a side door or something that would have a place to put stuff in. This is like on the ground kind of work, and you know, I don't think one flyer is going to change the world, but it could be a significant step for somebody. Like they might be thinking about stuff, they might be considering it. And the cool thing about the seminar is we're doing it in a very public location. Like this is an iconic TV tower downtown. Like we don't have to tell people where it is. Like they know where it is. Like say go to the TV tower, and they're like okay. And so like it's self-explanatory, it's not sketchy, it's downtown, it's very public, it's very safe, and saying hey, if you're curious then come. And so that's what we're doing with this seminar, because there's just this huge barrier when it comes to church and religious stuff. They're like, I'm not Christian, I'm not religious, should I go to church? Okay, here's a sticker. This is a pretty common one. You'll see this a lot. Please don't put chirashi, like flyers, free papers. That's like a free newspaper. Kanyu insatsu, that's like basically inviting people to do something like religious stuff, tracts, etc. Mudan tokan issai, so like putting stuff in the mailbox without permission, we completely reject that. So don't pick a fight, right? Like we're not trying to fight. Like there's plenty of other mailboxes that we could put flyers in. So like I feel like the American thing to do would be like, well, this is freedom of religion, we're gonna do this, but like you don't do that here. I think there's different kinds of urban planning. So they have kind of this vision for like what they want cities and neighborhoods to look like. And because of that, some areas they're working on having stores on the first floor. Like my apartment that I live in, there's nothing on the first floor of my building, but the building on the opposite side, opposite from me, there is like a ramen shop, there's a jewelry store. Our neighborhood gym, it's a private gym. It's called Chokozap. It's like $20 a month per person, and it's small. Think of like a small neighborhood, like apartment gym. So it's nothing major. They don't have like dumbbells and barbells and stuff. It's just like a few machines or whatever. They've got that, and so they're basically trying to do this like mixed use building, where where they do a couple of different things with the same building. That way, it's basically creating this walkable area, like that whole area that we were just in, where the elementary school was, and where the stores are, and the supermarket. Like, most of those people, they don't even have to get in a car to do anything. Like, they can walk in 3 minutes, be at the store, be at school. So like, that's a really cool neighborhood to be able to live in. And so you'll see that a lot, especially in dense areas. Now, like, one of the things that I really struggle with is when people say, in Japan, is it XYZ? Because Japan is big. Like, in America, what's it like? Well, your view on America in New York City and your view on America in, South Carolina is probably vastly different. So we try to, I say, in our city, in this area, this is what it looks like. You could go to other areas and it'll look totally different. But I want to show this to you. This is not a mansion, this is an apartment. So it's 2-story right here. And usually there's like 2 houses on top, 2 houses on bottom. I gotta be quiet because like right out their front door. And so there's like the gas meters right there. And then there's a mailbox right here. So just slip that right in the door. This one too. Then we're gonna go upstairs. And then there's 2 more. And so these would be apartment buildings. Now they say they don't want flyers. Like, it says it right there. So we're not gonna put anything there. But even from here, you can kind of see how dense it is over on this side of town. There's somebody else's house in front of us. So yeah, this is what posting looks like. We do this to try to get the word out on stuff. Again, like, it's not a magic bullet. I don't think there really is one, but we just want to keep praying for God to work in someone's life. And who knows, these people may have never gotten any kind of invitation to learn the Bible in their life. Like, think about that. You might be witnessing somebody getting an invite to a church thing for the first time in their life, possibly. And if that's the case, like, that's amazing, right? Like, we get to be a part of that. And there's tons of neighborhoods that are just like this, that, nobody is reaching. Like, literally nobody's reaching. And so, like, you're there and you're like, man, I'm praying about Japan and I'm thinking about Japan. Like, you could be in this neighborhood, living here, learning Japanese, going to school, making friends with the people that live in all these buildings, and hanging out at the park and hanging out on the weekends and getting to know people and beginning those conversations that, eventually lead to, hey, you need to know about Jesus, building that trust with them. And hey, why are you here? Like, why did you move to Japan? Well, actually, I'm a Christian and I want people to know about Jesus. Like, you could do that. You could be a part of that. And so I just want you to think about that. Also, people say there's no trash in Japan. That's a lie. There's trash right there. There's trash in the ditch. If you have any questions or are curious about anything, please let me know. Pray for Japan. Hey, and we're doing spring recon. We're doing spring recon too. We're doing summer recon. We're doing fall recon, which is like the week of Thanksgiving. So if you want to do, we're going to be doing this on recon. Okay, so like, you've kind of seen what it's like. So come to recon and see what it's like for yourself. Do it. Like, actually do it. And then come to. We've got summer recon dates set for next year. We've got spring recon next year as well. So if you want, come and apply. Go to reachingjapan.com/recon. We've got an application there. We don't let just anybody come. We've rejected someone before because they weren't ready. So we're looking for people who are serving in their church, who love Jesus and want to see people saved and discipled and following God. So first, you do that. You get saved if you're not already. You follow God, make disciples, and then come over here and do it too. We'd love for you to be part of that and seeing people reach for Jesus. So, yeah, stay in touch.